All right, let's talk about machine placement. One thing you want to do is make sure you have space all the way around the CNC machine. You're going to want to clean. You may want to plug in a USB drive, run a cable, do something like that. Who knows what you'll want over the life of this. And you're not going to be moving this machine around a lot, so make sure that you set it in a place that you're really comfortable and happy with. One thing to consider is your lighting. My lighting's fixed in this garage. It's the way that it is. So if I could, I'd bring that light up forward so that it shines down in here and I don't have a shadow right under the spindle. That's something you want to consider. And if you have to have that like me, you'll want to have an auxiliary light later on that you can shine in there, especially when you get to small tooling. It's really handy to have a bright light that you can see that tool. So when you're setting tool heights or working on a part, you want to make sure that the tool's not broken. Especially when things get full of chips and things, you just don't want light to be one of the things that keeps you from seeing what's going on. So that's a great consideration. I have the dust collection on this machine, and one of the things that I actually even moved the machine because I wanted to have this so that while I'm running it, I'm not going to lean in there and hit the C-stop. It's real easy. I mean, that's an annoyance, and you got to home the machine, do this, do that, make sure everything's okay. So with this edge here, it kind of cleans that up a little bit, and I don't have to worry about bumping that emergency stop. I don't have to worry about putting something in front of it, or while I'm working, it's just a little bit further. It's a little bit protected by that. Make sure you measure those locations. I mean, it would drive me nuts if I was a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch different in these. So make sure you measure it. And then lastly, you're gonna level the machine. Now, this is a set height. Okay, the distance between the mount on the vacuum and the table. You're gonna wanna make sure that that's close to center. So I would check that out, measure it a little bit. I can tell you that on this machine it fits fine, and it's the foot sticking out about 1 inch. So that gives me enough to make adjustments for leveling, but it also isn't putting it in a bind here. So you've got 2 T-slot bolts, and you want to make sure that they line up, and you want to think ahead a little bit. If you had it all the way up, the distance would be short and that bolt wouldn't line up very well, and then you'd dig into the aluminum to get the table secured. Definitely want to secure the machine, but before you do that, get out a level. 6-inch level like this or 8-inch level like this is plenty good. I've used this one on full-size machines. So this has really been a good level for me. What you do is start off, just get an idea where you're at. Maybe you have one leg a little bit further out than the rest of them, so you'll need to address that. I suggest find that first before you really try and level the thing in dead on. Once you're happy with this being sort of level, I measure off of the ways. Y-axis is a long distance. I level off of the way there and get that right on the dot. And now this is secure, and I would temporarily lock it with a lock bolt and then come in here and get this one. And so this would be X-axis. I'll go ahead and go for that. And you're going to make your adjustment on the side that you haven't leveled. So I'd make the adjustments to the level here. Then I come over here and go on this axis. Okay, and then lastly, you need to do back there. On this machine, the first time that I went around, I was a little bit off back there. And what I did is I split the difference. So I raised one end and lowered the other. And that kind of helped it out. But it meant that I had to run around the machine again one more time and level it again. Take your time, level it, get it stable. Make sure that your table's not going to move before you start making all of that accuracy leveling. Give it a little move back and forth. Make sure everything's going to be all right. This machine's going to move back and forth quite a bit. There's a bit of weight with that spindle. You've got some forces going on here, so make sure you've got a nice, level, flat, stable surface that you're putting the machine on. And you'll have a much happier machine life, and I think things will probably work out. It's like putting that foundation under the house. If it's off just a little bit, you're always going to be fighting that. So get your machine leveled. Don't just go by the table, go by the ways, and you'll have a much happier and longer life on your machine. Take care for now.